Welcome everyone to this Sunday School webinar. And if you've never been here before, this is a webinar that is free and you can join with your team or by yourself every Sunday to get some inspiration, some new ideas or old ideas that become new because you hear them again. And we don't have any special traditional way to do these webinars. They're different every time, but there's always something that you can take with you to help you build your business, develop yourself in your personal development, building your teams, solve problems, and so on. So there's a lot of goodies every Sunday. And today we'll talk about your most dominant pictures in your mind. So welcome. And if you've been with me for a while, you heard me say this before, that your life will always move in the direction of the most dominant pictures in your mind. And if you're new to personal development, then it could be in a place to tell you that you think in pictures, you don't think in words. So these statements make more sense when you understand that your mind thinking pictures, and your life will always move in the direction of the most dominant pictures in your mind. So that tells us that it's important to set goals, of course. It's important to know where we're going. And if we don't know where we're going, where are we going? Probably nowhere. Well, we're going somewhere, but not, most people will end up one day, each of these days, they will go like most of us have done. They will sit down and think, why is my life like it is? Or why did I end up in this situation? Or why does things happen to me? Or am I just one of those guys that have a bad luck all the time? Or yeah, we start to question things. And then there comes along a guy that has some experience, who's been through stuff, who has empiric knowledge. And that person would tell you, no, life is a set of principles. And if you follow those principles or those laws, your life will turn out just the way you want it to turn out. The problem is most people doesn't have that education. They don't know. But that's okay, because like yourself, they will also end up in a webinar or reading a book or attending a seminar, listening to someone that will, so to say, turn on the light. So if your life moves in the direction of the pictures you have in your mind, then you got to be careful what kind of pictures you have in your mind. And I will talk about it more later here. But so if you want to change something, if you want to become successful, or if you want to change your situation requires change. And that is kind of complicated because that is what most people are most afraid of. Change. When it's the only probably constant thing in the universe. Change. So your personal development requires change. And you see, personal development is two words. It's personal and it's development. So it's you're developing yourself. Most people try to develop other people. That's okay. But you know, you won't get far if you don't develop yourself first. So, and another thing which is really strange, I don't have any good answers, and I don't need to, but that is that most people, they will not change in good times. Most people that are willing to change, they're open for a change when something bad happens to them. They lose a job, or they lose some money, or they get in a financial situation, or something happens with their family, you know, then they're open for change. Isn't that funny? Or not funny, but it's weird that we should be open for change in good times. Smart people are open for change in good times. But I think it has to do with the saying that, you know, do not be conformed to this world, but for the renewing of your mind. So most people, they're actually conforming to the world, and whatever that is, you have to figure out yourself. But you know, if you read newspapers and listen to the news, daily news on television, you know, that's where you're gonna go. Those will be the most dominant pictures in your mind. Anyway, so we are willing to change when something bad happens. Strange, but that's the way it's for most people. So someone said, what you know, what does it matter if you gain the whole world, if you win the whole world but you lose your soul? There's a lot of things in that saying. One thing is that you don't take your Ferrari with you when you leave planet Earth, but you will take your experiences, your strength, and your hope, and your principles, and the laws that you learned, that you acquired while spending time here on this planet. So for me, that's the most important thing. Money and material things, it's all good. It's, you know, it's here to play around with and have fun, and I think for most important, it is to help other people. So you will gain stuff, you will gain material success so that you can help other people. It's not for you, because you're here to help someone else. Well, that's my thinking. You don't have to believe that. Anyway, so back to our subject. Your life will move in the most dominant pictures, in the direction of the most dominant pictures in your mind. So you see, it connects to the next thing, next law, and that is to think is to create. So we are creating every day, every moment, every second, every week, every month, what we think. Those pictures that we have in our mind, our our life move in the direction of those pictures. So we think, we agree on that. Everybody agree that we think, yes. So that means we create. Everybody's creating. Little, small, big, you know, fat, thin, rich, poor, doesn't matter. We are all creating every day. So your life is your every day you have to choose. It's your choice. And people go, no, because this happened to me and this happened to me. Okay, but who was on the crime scene every time something bad happened? You. So you now need to take charge of your own life and not be, just flying around all over the place. So you got to be in charge. You got to make those choices. What information you're listening to, who are you following, whose advice are you taking, what books are you reading, where are you going, who are you listening to, and then you take action, you make choices. So there's like two, to make it simple, there's either fear on the left side or there is love on the right side. And fear will be like an example of all the bad things, and love will be for all the good things. You can change love to fight, or uh, whatever you like to exchange the word, but I use fear on the left side, love on the right side. So all the good things is on the right side, and on the bad things are on the left side. So when we make choices, the amazing thing in creation is that we got from our creator free choice. So whatever happened to us, we can make a new choice. Whatever happened to us yesterday, we can make a new choice today. Isn't that totally like mind-blowing? That we're never in status quo. We're never victims if we don't choose to be victims. So, but then back to our theme today. So if people are thinking a lot of these things on the left side, they are greedy, they want something for nothing, they are envious of other people, they gossip, or they're lazy, they don't want to do the work, they want to have something for free, it will not work. And that will just bring them more misery. So you got to be on the right side. We're all taking action, setting goals, thinking positive, solving problems. All those good things are on the right side. So you see, if you're thinking a lot about the left side, those will be the most dominant pictures in your mind. And that will all just create more of the bad stuff. So you choose what to think. Never forget it. There's no such thing that anyone else is to blame. You are choosing your thoughts. But it takes a couple of days, weeks, months, years to really understand that that's the case. You're making those choices. You're choosing to think in a certain way. So it's not what happens to you, it's what you think about what happened to you. And if you're indecisive in your thinking, that's when fear comes creeping up. If you're indecisive in taking action, that's when fear comes creeping up. Because fear, indecisiveness will lead to fear. Fear comes from indecisiveness. So it's really important to understand you can act your way into a new thinking as much as you can think your way into new acting. So it's always action That is the cure. Always action. You can try. You don't have to believe what I'm saying. You can just try it, and you can see. You can test it. You have a problem. You take some kind of action. Doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter. It could be a phone call. It could be cleaning your closet. It could be taking a walk. It could be recruiting. It could be setting goals. It could be writing. It could be, but whatever action you're taking, it's the cure for indecisiveness, which is the cure of fear. So you see, it will be a self-fulfilling prophecy for people that don't have the information, and or they bought into the other information that the world gives them. They're reading newspapers, listen to the news, or listen to the false prophets. And most people will just go along, and that's what they believe in until something happens in their life. So that's why I always said that crisis, a situation of a crisis, it's a negative word for most people. For me, it's really positive because a crisis is an opportunity for change. So following certain way of thinking, certain way of doing things, ends up in a crisis, and it's an opportunity to do something new, think in a new way, act in a new way, do something other than I've done before. If I do something new, I will get a new experience and a new result. And you remember when we talked about the self actualization pyramid of Maslow, that like 80-90% of the people, they will stay in the lower levels. They will never move above. They don't understand, they don't get it, because they're on the left side of the choices. They make those choices of being lazy, they make those choices of, instead of taking action, they're envy of other people. Instead of doing something themselves, they're full of hate. Instead of, you see, all the bad stuff comes from making those wrong choices. And we all make those choices. And for some people, they're down in the lower levels, and a situation occurs, something happens to them, and then they're open for change. They get some information. They're involved in a business like you are. That's why I love this kind of industry, because it's about personal development. Yes, it's about the other stuff, recruiting, making money, making business, but no money. Money is just a byproduct of who you are. Money is just a byproduct of your personal development. So if you get stuck in the basic needs in the lower levels, that's where you stay until you make that change. And you remember that I will not go through this now, but you remember we talked about our mind is our conscious mind and our subconscious mind. And this will take us back to where we started today. The most dominant pictures in our mind. The most dominant pictures that we have in our conscious mind every day, because those pictures that are in our conscious mind are in the now. So that's where we need to have discipline, in the now, in this day, because you can't change tomorrow. It's impossible. Not yesterday. You can only change today. And your subconscious mind, it's like a hard drive. You record your thinking in the now. So you think in the now in your conscious mind, and it will get recorded in your subconscious mind if you repeat it or you have an emotional experience, emotional involvement. So you understand, if you now been with me for a while, you've been listening to my webinars, that this is no weird new age, whatever you think, or maybe you like new age, but this is nothing weird stuff. This is science today, and it has been written. Like it says, as you think it in your heart, so shall you be. And your heart is kind of your subconscious. So, two important things. Your subconscious will record all your thinking when you repeat it or you have an emotional involvement. So, is hate, is that emotional involvement? Is fear emotional involvement? Is greed emotional involvement? Yes, it is. So if you think about those things, your subconscious will record it. Your subconscious cannot differ the good or the bad. It doesn't know. It just records. It doesn't know the word no or not. That's why you can't think your way out of a problem and thinking about the problem. So you got to change your thinking. You got to put a new thought instead of the problem that occurred, the solution or something else. So this is why people, like 80–90% of the population everywhere, I don't know why that is, probably because of laziness, and it's way easier to not doing things and just being depending on the government or some welfare or some handouts. But that was not the way you were created. You were created for success. You were not created for handouts. I mean, I'm not saying that handouts is bad. It's good for a short period of time to help someone in need, but then they need to change if it's going to change for them. You can never help anyone with just giving them stuff. They need to help themselves. So if your thinking have been and still is full of fear, that is what you fill your mind with. And if your mind is full of fear, and your life will move in the direction of the most dominant thinking or dominant thoughts, where will your life go? To more fear. I know it sounds simple, and it is. It's not easy, but it's simple. Keep it simple, stupid. So your old thinking can interfere with your new thinking, and it will create your results. So that's why you need to take charge. You need to be in charge of your thinking. Again, you need to move away from the left side and go over to the right side. And that takes discipline. You don't feel like it, you don't want to do it. It's easier to be on the left side. It's so easy. You know, it's so easy to criticize, to be on the left side and just be a critic. You know why? Because an idiot can do that. Anyone can do that. It's hard to be on the right side. It takes more effort. And that's why we're here. That's why we're here every Sunday, so we can meet and talk and, you know, get new ideas. And you've probably, if you're smart, you realize that whatever, if it's still the same, and maybe your mood in it is in one way, and you say, I don't feel like listening to that Sunday school. You know, it's the same thing every day, every time, and you know, I've heard it before. That's not smart to think like that, because it will put a barrier and will close your mind. Because education breeds confidence. Confidence breeds hope. And hope breeds serenity. And guys, you know, the past is just a memory. The future is a dream. Today is reality. So you got to live in the now. Don't worry about what happened yesterday or tomorrow. You got to live in the now. You take action in the now. You be disciplined in the now, right now. And then you start creating new pictures, and your life will start moving in a new direction with new hope, with new goals, with new people, with new relationships. And that's when it all started happening. And that's all for today. I will see you next Sunday. Out in the world and help those people that want to be helped. You know, there's a lot of people who need help, but you can't help anyone that doesn't want to get helped. So go out in the world, be prosperous, happy, joyous, and free. And I'll see you next Sunday.